Howdo, welcome to We Will Rise Again. My name is G, and we're going to be looking at the first half of the second season of Bolton Wanderers with their financial troubles. So shall we just get straight into it, shall we? So looking at the finances, we'll start here, because then you can't see anything else. I mean, it matters, we've not played any games at this point. We are going to move forward later on. But essentially, yeah, we're in the red at the minute. It's only going to get worse. We are currently spending £12,000 less per week than what the wage budget will allow us. We are in League One, let's not forget as well, so we have moved up a level. So with higher levels, generally speaking, you're going to get higher wages as well. But let's have a look and see who we've brought in so far. Right, so worth noting that we have done all of July basically. We're just about to start the season, I believe. We will obviously see the game, we'll move on and you'll see that afterwards. But we'll start off down here. We mentioned Andy Irving last time. Here he is in all his glory. I don't think he's that bad an option, even for League One. I think he could be very, very good indeed. That's the hope anyway. It looks like he could be an all-rounder, so he'll cover a few areas the two positions in the middle, whether it be ball winner or box-to-box. Probably going to play him more as a box-to-box because he has got some decent attributes for that. Aside from maybe stamina and natural fitness, that's the main ones. But otherwise, I don't think he's that bad. Next up, we signed a couple of centre-backs, Marcus Muir and Levi Lang down here. Just a couple of youth prospects for the future. The thing that caught my eye about this guy was he was 6'4" and had jumping reach of 18. And then when you look at that, and he's actually quite tall, he's got 14 pace and 13 acceleration. I thought, nice. If we could just work on his mentals and his technicals, and maybe we might have a decent defender on his hands. We'll have to see. But he's gone out on loan already. We'll get into the out shortly. Levi Lang, again, a fast defender, 6'2", 15 jumping reach. Again, didn't think that was that bad. Technically, not too bad with heading and marking. Tackling obviously needs some work. And mentally, he's a bit off the pace as well. But again, two young players. If we don't get anything out, if we can't get them into the first team, then we'll be looking to sell them on, most definitely. And this guy we got in as well just before the season updated, basically. So these are at the back end of the season we got him in. He's a left-footed left winger, basically. He's a left midfielder, but I'm retraining him as a left winger. He was actually accomplished anyway, so he's not far off. If I just highlight the positions here, they're pretty much exactly the same. Decent numbers, not the quickest, but he's left-footed, and that's the main thing that I was looking for, really. I wanted a bit of balance, because I don't like playing with a right-footed winger. I like playing with wingers, but I like them to be like the foot that they are, if you know what I mean, as in like left wing, left foot, etc. Decent potential, is on loan. We could potentially sign him at the end of the season when his contract is up. So that was another factor as well. I thought, well, if he turns out to be good, chances are, as long as they don't renew his contract, we might be able to sign him straight after. And in terms of the outs from this before they updated the season, we've got a couple of players go out on loan, like Hereford Lockett's gone out on loan, and Ryan Colvin, the centre-back. But we've sold these guys. Emmanuel Adebayo, I mean, again, just a youngster, never really going to develop into the thing, not going to get much game time neither. I signed him mainly because of his determined personality, but just wasn't developing, so he's out the door. We've sold him for £8,000. Again, it's just a little bit of money. We have got one of the club vision things is to sell young players for a profit, buy young players to sell on, basically. Another player we sold was Tariq Shihab. I'm a bit disappointed about this guy. I wanted to try and use him, but I just didn't think he was going to be up to it. He's a bit short for a centre-back, in my opinion. It's not, as a result, his jumping reach isn't the best. But everything else, he has some decent decisions and what have you. Pace was good as well, and his technicals, apart from marking, were good in terms of defending. But I just didn't see him improving that much. So when someone became wanted, and in QPR in this case, I've managed to sell him. I think I might have got a sell-on fee. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, like a 20% sell-on. Probably check that in the clauses. George Taft was next. He was the one that was rotating in for season. He was like my third choice centre-back. Just not happy with his pace. He's not quick enough, not agile enough, and I thought I could probably get better, and I did in the end get better. Trust me on that. He's gone for £49,000, and the last player before we updated the season, Denzel Bordeaux. As I said, I got in Reece Cole before, so it was inevitable that he was going to be getting out of the door. But again, another player that we signed on a free, still classed as a youngster, and we got £32.5 for him, which wasn't bad considering our status. But in terms of the in, since the season updated, we did agree most of these players before pre-agreed pre-contract agreement. Get there in the NG. Yeah, Tom White, we had him on loan last season. We've got him for another season. Very happy to get him in. Got some really good numbers, especially for League One as well. So I'm very happy to keep him. We've got him on a 2-year deal, 950 grand, 950 grand a week. Who does he think he is, Ronaldo? But yeah, £950 per week. So happy to get him in. Going to do a decent job for us. But he was getting paid 350 when he was on loan, so I've had to increase his wages, technically speaking. But I didn't think that was too much. Simon Power is next. He's a right winger. I'm very happy to get this guy in for £750 per week. I nearly said grand again. All these are all free signings. And yeah, just liked his pace. I liked the fact he can cross, he can dribble. His off the ball isn't bad. He's fairly determined. The other thing that really lets him down, compose your decisions maybe. But yeah, for League One especially, I think he's going to be very, very good for us. Well, this guy I vaguely know because of the network save I'm doing on Twitch. Don't forget, check it out with Yorkie Man and Burnley. And he hasn't really featured for me, but I did know he was around and I knew he had decent pace. And I just had a thought, well, bear in mind the way I'm playing is in scouting centre. When he came up on my scouting reports, I thought, oh yeah, that's that guy from Burnley. And I scouted him and I knew that straight away his physicals were good. Finishing's only 10, composure only 7. I see this guy as potentially the replacement for Delfonso, mainly for the fact that he's got similar sort of attributes. Where Delfonso's he's not the best in terms of his finishing and composure, but he's rapid basically. And you can't argue that this guy's physicals are absolutely unreal, especially for League One. Off the ball's decent, first touch is good, and dribbling's good as well. Just finishing's only 10. I'd love to get that a little bit higher. We'll have to wait and see if we can do anything with that. But again, free, £900 per week. Very happy, 2-year deal. Alan Chap was, again, the next youth prospect to bring in with potential to maybe sell on. Some good mentals, good physicals, and yeah, just technicals need work. We'll have to see if he can develop it all. £325 a week, I believe that's his whole amount. Yeah, that's what we're paying. They're paying £300 at Halifax. Kellen Gordon was next. Now, this was a little bit of one that I screwed myself. When you get scout reports and you don't check them for a while, and you forget that when you click on them, it tells you when this got scouted like a day. I didn't check it. It said it was like 4.5 star, like current ability. That was for League One. We've jumped up to League Two, and that as soon as he's signed, as soon as he's actually come to the club, it's dropped to 2.5 star. I'm a little bit disappointed by it. I'm not disappointed though, however, by his numbers. His numbers I think look very good, especially for an attacking fullback. If I just put him here, wing back on attack, which is what we play with. Nothing is lower than a 9. You know, flair, decisions and technique. But everything else is 11s or above, basically, with the odd 10 thrown in. And I'm very happy to get the. I think he's well-rounded for the role and, you know, can cover it at the right wing at a pinch. But, yeah, I'm quite happy to get him in. 23 years old. Sell him potential as well. £950 per week. Didn't think that was too bad at all. Then we move on to one of the big boys I've got in. Brenton Galloway has joined us from Luton. He got released from Luton. Very happy to get him in. He's one of the more senior players and higher earners at 1.8 grand a week. As you can see straight away, he's valued at 140k, and I think you can agree that this guy playing as a centre-back, just bear in mind I'm going to be playing as a ball-playing centre-back. His vision's not the best, but 13 passing. I think this guy could be unreal, and he's definitely an upgrade on George Taft. So I'm, very excited to see how this guy does as we progress the season. Dan Cashman is just a young striker that potentially we've got some sell-on value, or he could maybe increase his own potential. That makes no sense. Increase his abilities to get into the first team is what I was trying to say. Basically, he needs to get his finishing, first touch and composure up for me more than anything. Off the ball as well. But otherwise, some good physicals to start off with. Some good mentals as well. Technicals need a lot of work though. He joins at £170, so per week I thought that was worth a punt. So we'll see. Then the other important player that I got in, I thought we did need strengthening at left back. Obviously, it's been a bit of a theme since day one, really, since we had Mascali with his 5 tackling. We've gradually increased it. This is a bit of a step up, in my opinion. Fraser, Blake, Tracy. Believe it or not, looking at his past, he started off at Dereham, Lowestoft, then went to Lowestoft, then went to Kings Lynn, then found himself in professional football only in 2019 with Peterborough, and then he's been released, and he's now come to Bolton. And as you can, I'd like to think you would agree if I put on a wing back attack. Apart from the flair, very solid option. He's on 1,500 quid a week for 2 years. I've only gone for 2 years for more or less all the players because of his financial worries. We need to at least, I'm trying to do it with 2 years, so we at least got a chance of maybe selling them after 1 year. And if we don't, then at least we know that if we can loan them out at least, and that the wages are covered while their contracts expire, and then we can just clear off basically the debt, as it were, in that regard. But yeah, this guy works hard, very good, very determined. Well, that's very different. He's fairly determined. He's fairly ambitious as well, so he might even improve a little bit more. He's 25 years old. Very excited to see how he does for us. And then lastly, we've got Joe Adams. Now we've got the other lads whose name it does actually elude me at the minute. The guy who was left-footed. Oh, there it is. It's Boyd Muntz, Cowlan. Someone tell me how to pronounce that word. I know it's Irish or something. I think it's Irish anyway. I could be wrong. But yeah, basically, he's going to be the rotation option for it. But he's right-footed, which is a shame. But very solid all-round player. Yeah, 12 pace and the acceleration isn't the highest, but his other numbers really like make up for it. He's got nothing less than a 10 in what we need. I mean, obviously that is if he plays as an inverted winger, which I do occasionally change to every now and again. But if I was going to go for a winger on attack, then again it's the same story. The same numbers are there, and nothing less than an 11 when you put it into a winger's perspective. Just that he's the wrong foot really for it. But yeah, very excited to get him in and see how we get on with him. A lot of these players have gone out on loan. As you can see, there's some loan fees as well, so we've actually made a little bit of money. We've made just shy of 30 grand. The only player that has left is a youngster that we brought in, and yeah, he wasn't very good. It was a guy that was highlighted by the director of football, and I was just like, you know what, he's finished. Let's see, he might develop into something. He didn't, and he's just gone for free. There's nothing really else to say about the transfers out. Right, so we're back again after, well, we're now in January the 1st, and essentially there's been a couple more things to just tell you about. Oliver Greaves has gone out on loan. That's it, really, with that regarding the loanees. Like, a lot of players out on loan. Ryan Clark, though, however, we signed him towards back into last season. We got him as a young prospect. Thought, is he really going to develop into anything? I know he's left-footed, but he just wasn't good enough for League One, in my opinion, and we needed something a little bit better. And yeah, sadly, he's not really cut the mustard enough. So we are saying goodbye to Ryan Clark. 60 grand. I didn't think that was too bad. And the only player we brought in is another youngster, Sam Bell, just literally days ago. He's an attacking midfielder. We do play with a shadow striker, and I know he's finishing at 5, but if we could get that improved at all the rest of his numbers are pretty good. So I'm hoping the fact that he's got a resolute personality as well might be able to increase some of those numbers. And again, worst case scenario, we sell him on, make a profit. But in terms of performance in the league, I could not be happier. I don't even know why. We were predicted, well, the board expected us to, avoid relegation. Let's quickly look at the preview. They've got us down as mid-table-ish, like 10th, top half, right? Because that's generally a reflection on your signings. Like, if you start off with you've got hardly any players, you'll be down at the bottom. But how we've done in the transfer market, the Demers to finish somewhere roughly around Bolton. Really, G? Roughly around Bolton? That might just be a reflection of the difference in class between League 1 and League 2, because I don't know if there's that much in truth. You'd think so, there'd be a gradual increase as you went up the leagues, unless it's just because some of the players improve as you go up the leagues and their numbers improve in line with it. I don't know. But yeah, we're predicted to finish 10th, and we're basically smashing it at the minute. Let's just quickly go back and show you this here. We've got 20 wins out of 28, 7 draws, 1 loss. That 1 loss coming against Sunderland. Sunderland are like mid-table, yeah, they're down mid-table for some reason. We just could not score past them. But we have been doing bits in the stats as well. We've got Delfonso, who is joint second, as it were, in the readings. 14. He's 30 years old now. And I don't know, you can probably see him there. You can probably kind of get where I'm coming from when I was on about Malumbi. His physicals are, I'd say, arguably slightly better than Delfonso's. His Mumbongo we've got, but his composure's only slightly better and his finishing's only 2 better. So I'm kind of hoping that he will be like a natural replacement for him. He's on 2,300 quid a week because he had a bit of a pay increase in his in a clause on his contract, and just I'd like to keep him as that contract in the summer. But it all depends on whether how much he wants next season, because let's not forget we're in financial disarray, as it were. In terms of average ratings, Galloway and Francis lead the way. Francis still doing well in this division. Positioning has gone up to 9 now. But yeah, he's done all right for us. He's been rotating with Brockbank, but mainly Francis and Galloway are the main partnership at the back. I don't know if I'm just having a look at Grant Moore, but he's not doing that well. But I don't know if defenders somehow are broken or whether they are actually playing that well. Because at this point of recording, by the way, there's been an update and the right backs are performing nowhere near as well. And I don't think the centre backs are as well. I personally think that all of them have been nerfed. I mean, apparently there's a thing where you go into the stats. I mean, it might not be the same now because at the point of recording it might be different. But apparently when you go into defending on the player stats, yeah, in fact, there, look, no player at the halfway stage in the league has got a key tackle, which I find very bizarre. But that's something else to be fixed. But maybe this can't be reflected on that then. But the right backs apparently have been getting hit by that in particular, and ball winning midfielders as well for that to that degree. Assist, Sean Goss. I told you he'd be doing all right for us. He's not looking bad at all. I just wish his determination to go up, but there's not a lot we can do about it. He's 26 now. It's on $2,000 a week still, so he's on a fairly high wage as well. So we need to keep an eye on the financial side of things. But passing is improving slightly, and you know, if he could keep going as well, I'd like to keep him around. If he keeps performing as he is, rather, because he's out of contract as well in this summer. And again, it all depends on contract negotiations, as it were. Krellin, the keeper. Every time I see Krellin, all I can think of is Dragon Ball Z because of Krillin. I don't know if I'm on my own with that, but he's a very good goalkeeper. He's done so well for us. I mean, so far, he's on 14 clean sheets, which is ridiculous. And he's just steadily improved. He's one of the players I wasn't about before about improving as you go up the leagues, like in line with the divisions. And he is like the ideal sort of person to compare. Because if I quickly go on to development and progress and go to attributes and all time, in just over a season, he's gone up 1 in everything and 2 in a couple of areas as well. So if we've gone up by 1, you like to think if you imagine that you want all 10s for League 2, then you want all 11s for League 1, like natural progression. So if most of your attributes are going up by 1, then and they're already starting around 10, 11 sort of area, then that for me is the natural progression that I'm talking about, if that makes sense. Looking at the results, I can show you what's been going on at the minute. We got knocked out in the first round of the Carabao Cup, sadly, to Blackpool. We lost on penalties, which was a massive shame. We did, however, do well in the Johnson's Paint, apart from losing in penalties again, this time to Sunderland. But we did win the third game against Burnley's under-23, surprisingly. I think my mum, no, he didn't. Jordan Greenidge got a hat-trick randomly in that game. But yeah, we have lost in the FA Cup as well against Oldham. I was very disappointed about that. It was after a replay as well, which Oldham just absolutely destroyed us. But we rarely had a chance, and for some reason we just couldn't seem to turn it around. And then it just followed suit again. Oldham, just my kryptonite, if you will. But otherwise, the league, I can't complain about the league. We've been smashing teams left, right and centre. I mean, did we even get payback against Blackpool? I think we did. No, we drew 2-2 again against Blackpool. We'll have to see how we get on later on in the season. I think we've got them. Yeah, we've got them coming up shortly. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, results-wise, we've been going all right. Quick look at the squad and let's see how everyone's doing. So in terms of the app, oops, I didn't mean to do that. In terms of the app makers, Krellin, obviously goalkeeper, but otherwise it's Brenton Galloway, Delfonso, Blake Tracy, and Francis leading the way in terms of the appearances in that time. We've got 15 goals from Delfonso. Lloyd Groves chipped in with 7 goals. Mongo's got 6 goals, and then Power and Darcy have got 5 each. Darcy, to be fair, he's done all right, but he hasn't really improved that much, and he's out of contract as well. So depending on how much of a wage increase he wants, might not see him at the end of the season neither, because I don't really want to sign him and say $3,000 a week contract if he's not going to improve much more. I don't know if determination is one of the main factors. I don't know, but like I said, the way it's going based on the performance in the league, we are smashing it at the minute. I mean, the wheels could fall off. It has happened before, but as it's going, we're getting promoted. And I just don't know if it's going to be worth wasting some wage budget on a player that's not necessarily going to be good enough for the Championship. So I'd sign him on a contract, not knowing if anyone's going to come in for him and buy him. That's the thing, because I was hoping to maybe try and sell him on because he's worth something. But there's not many attacking midfielders out there at the minute that are much better. But in terms of the average rate, the assists, Sean Goss has got 8 in total. Policic has got 7. He's done all right, actually, Policic. We were interested to see how he did. He's 21 years old. He's obviously, he downgrades quite a lot because of his injury, but he has featured a fair amount, 18 games and 8 off the bench as well. Hasn't really improved his star rating, but and not really his attributes really neither. 1 or 2 have gone up slightly, like bravery I think has gone up, and I think his agility might have gone up, and stamina maybe. But he's another one that potentially might look to cash in on because he's on 1,500 quid a week. He has got a year left after this as well, so that's going to be dictated by that really. Power's got 6 assists. Blake Trace has got 5 from left back, and Mbongo has got 4 goals. Just one quick thing, yeah, Francis has got 4 goals from corners, which I find absolutely bizarre, as opposed to Galloway, he's got 3. So we've got 7 goals from centre back. Let me just double check that with Harry Brockbank. 8 goals, met that. And then, like I said, the other assist makers, Mbongo's got a couple as well. I've played him on the wing a couple of times. That might be factored into his performance because he's just fast as fuck. He's crossing is 5, which is not great, but the fact that he gets there is definitely a reason to do it, basically. Another good thing to look at is the key passes per 90 minutes, and you know you can see some regulars here. So nearly 5 a game for Irving and Goss. So our box-to-box player is probably our most important player, which is why that's when I'm looking at improving the team. He's one of the main areas. I mean, I love a ball winner. I do love a ball winner. I've done historically in lower league football. Then when you get to like Premier League, you kind of upgrade to like a deep line playmaker because generally speaking, you need them to be good at tackling as well. Power's got upwards of 4 towards 4. You could say some Reece Cole as well, but yeah, it's 3.5 in it, let's be honest, for both. But yeah, that's one indication whether you're doing things right, really. Tackle rate success as well. Having a quick look at this, I mean, surprisingly Simon Power. But yeah, Brenton Galloway, Tom White, 86 for a ball-winning midfielder as well, is decent. I'm surprised Sarcevic isn't higher on this, but apparently he's all the way down here, 72%. Maybe he just gives away free kicks. So he's on 3.8 grand a week at the minute, which is not ideal. He's our captain though, and it's hard to replace him because he is a team leader. And I definitely won't be doing it now because it's January. What I might do is, if any bids come in for certain players and I feel like I can replace them, then maybe we can do something. Because looking at the transfer budget, Liam Gordon's getting he's going to be going for like £1,000. It's money though, so it goes towards that selling players on for a profit. Although he was a player that started off here, so maybe not. But yeah, we've got 11 grand to play with. We've got 52, well, call it 53 grand to spend. We're probably not going to spend any, if much, on maybe a sign-on fee or something like that. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be much we need to do. Quick look at dynamics. Everything is rosy. Hierarchy. Does everyone love me? Not everyone. We're smashing the league, mate. Look how we're doing. Look at that performance. It's a full 100% bar. You can't get any better than that. In fact, looking at the club vision, we've got an A+ despite disappointing in the cups. You know, disappointed with the team's performance in the FA Cup. I was disappointed with the performance in the FA Cup. We are searching for a senior affiliate. About 1 million times that happens, and they say no, can't find anyone. So I take that with a pinch of salt as far as I'm concerned. In terms of coaches, let's have a quick look at the staff. Any newbies? James Beat is new. Decent option. I don't think he played for Bolton. I did play for Blackburn. By Blackburn, I mean he was like a youngster there. He broke through like... Did he play for Blackburn? He might have done. I remember him at Southampton. I remember him being good at Southampton and then being good at Everton. But yeah, he's coming as a coach after being the assistant manager at Wednesday. He was at Leeds as well as a coach when Gary Monk was there. But yeah, very good option in terms of a coach. So yeah, very happy to get him in as well. I think that's it though. Yeah, all the regulars are still there. There's nothing to worry about in terms of like the OGs. Hierro's had a few people sniffing around him. It's because of his reputation. Maybe I should have lowered his reputation slightly just to stop that from happening. Because he's not amazing. He's got good mentals. The technicals aren't amazing. But yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be interesting to see if we can keep everyone going for the full 10 years. I would imagine as we approach the last couple of years, though, there might be like snapped up from under his noses, because I don't know whether I should be giving them improved deals. I mean, maybe I should, but it's just a case of, I mean, I might. The thing is, if I do a deal now, it'll only give me max of 5 years, so I'll cut off time. So the idea was I wasn't going to do that. The idea was that they were going to stick around as long as Big Sam was going to stick around. That's the idea of the story, and see if they get us up there. In fact, one final person we need to check is myself. There's the attributes you can see here. Not much has improved really. Motivating is 20, which we had that at the beginning. I can't remember. I think they were 10s. They're now to 11, and a few other bits have gone up as well. But yeah, I put it in attacking and technical, I think it was, and working with youngsters, I think might have gone down. I don't even know if they can go down. I'm pretty sure it was 10. But yeah, in terms of the characteristics. See, I love this. Preferred a possession-based style of play, wanting a high-tempo pressing game, etc., etc. Love that, signing young players and all that. Like, it's lovely to see. Before we go, I just want to show you the progress of German Ubeda, who is looking very, very tasty with all these green arrows. If I just quickly go into this screen, in fact, this will be even better, and you can see how well it's going. He's been here less than a year. He's approaching a year. Where am I going? Attributes, compare all time, and look at some of those numbers. I'll just move myself out of the way. And strength's gone up by 3, balance up by 2, anticipation 2. This is in less than 1 year. And if he's going to be as good as what I think he's going to be, as good as he's going to get, should I say, which I'm hoping he is, then we could have one tasty player on his hands. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how he turns out in the end. Hopefully, staying with us rather than has been forced to sell. Look at the finances again, in terms of the debt, just before we go. We've still got 26.5 million remaining. Now, one thing I've noticed, and I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to keep my eye out for, is Rob Holding, I think I might have mentioned this in the first episode, has got a 20% sell-on clause. Now, he at the minute is contracted to 2024. That gives us 2 years? 2.5 years, yeah. So basically, we've got 2.5 years to decide, and say we get to the end of the season, and say that it flags up with a little, you can sell this clause, because I see that occasionally. It'd be interesting to see how much it comes up for. And if it's an amount of money that I think I can't turn down, I might have to cash it in. We'll have to wait and see. So I'm hoping for that to happen, really, because it would give us a little bit of respite, should we need it. Because I would imagine, looking at how our finances are at this moment in time, that we are going to be needing it. I mean, look how it dipped here. I mean, this was because of cash injections, I think, or was these a cash injection? I can't remember. But basically, that was last season. Oh, that was it. That was the sponsorship deal, sponsorship money and whatever. Yeah, that's what I got there. And basically, yeah, it's just we've not even been in the black since the very beginning of the game, so it's only going to get worse. We are doing our bit with regards to wage budget. There's not really anything else I can do apart from sell players, and unless players are wanted, and I can raise enough money for him, then there's not really a great deal I can do. I've got to wait for the players to become wanted, and hopefully the young players with some decent potential, because they're the ones that usually worth the most money. I'll have to wait and see though on that front. But yeah, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching us. Hopefully join us for the second half of Season 2, where we come to the end of the season, and obviously, and then we go through all the same stuff again, basically. Any more transfers in the January window, how the performance has been. Have we gone up? Have we stayed down? Have we got in the playoffs? How are the finances? All these sort of things we're going to look into, and then hopefully you can join us for that. So hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, go ahead and smash that like button. If you'd like to see more, feel free to subscribe. And until the next time, I will see you then. Cheers.